Dude, yesterday I was.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony show. Anthony, how are you, my friends?
Not good today, Brian. Not good at all, dude. But like you said, dude, it's Friday, it's the weekend, it's here. Let's go. That's awesome. But obviously tough loss for the Mets last night. I'm sure we'll get into it. So yeah, dude.
Yeah, and if I don't know, it probably doesn't make you feel any better. But if it does, I can say I don't feel great. You know, I have a better feeling, but I don't feel great, Tony. So
I'm glad you feel better than
me.
I
I could partially suffer with you a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
But a lot to get into, like you said. But we'll start like we always do during a golf tournament, a leaderboard update, RBC Canadian Open. You know, after yesterday's conclusion of round one, we had a four-way tie at the top. Aaron Rai, Justin Lauer, Corey Connors, Chasen Hadley, and they were all at 5 under par, shooting 67s to open up their rounds. But now, you know, with round two underway, Andrew Novak now has a solo lead at 6 under par. He's 3 under through 11, and Carl Wan has joined the group at 5 under. And he is 1 under through 4 after shooting a 68 yesterday. And some guys that are in contention and on the course right now, Shane Lowry on a little bit of a heater. He's 4 under through 8, starting on the back 9, tied for 7th. And then, you know, going further down the list, you know, I have the coverage on now. We were talking about Cameron Young. He's at 1 under par after shooting 71 yesterday. How about Mike Weir, the 2003 Masters champ, in contention here, you know, now playing on the tour, the PGA Tour Champions. He's tied 46 at 1 under, so a chance to make the cut, the Canadian and former Masters champion.
That's cool.
Further down the list, yesterday, not to my surprise, but and I just actually want to see. No, he's not on the course now. But Michael Block, Tony, 5 over par, and I don't know why. Let me just
5 over. You said
5 over yesterday, and I was just gonna see. Let me just make sure. I don't know.
Shit, dude.
What is this?
Does that need help?
No, I got it. Okay. So he is on the course today, and he's actually 2 under through 5, starting on the back. So after a 77 yesterday, he's rebounded for +3. You'd imagine for him to have a chance, so he'd need to get that pretty much to even par. But of course, you know, we'll see where the cut line falls, and rain falling on the course right now.
Going to affect the players, dude, for sure.
I think it would affect the players, and you know, definitely make those greens a little less speedy. But right now, the cut is at -1. If it does move to even, you would think Block has an outside chance of making the cut. A guy we were tracking yesterday, Justin Rose, ends up finishing -3, shooting a 69. Was very hot on his front 9, got into a little trouble on the back with 2 bogeys, but still pretty solid footing for the former U.S. Open champion as he looks to return to the winner's circle. So a lot of names in contention, and definitely just going to be a great tournament to watch over the weekend. I think it'll be a tight finish, you know, as always. You know, one other thing that I wanted to mention, and I was texting you guys about it, you know, yesterday, was that I did end up getting out on the course.
Yeah, you
got a nice efficient round. I think it was 2 hours, 40 minutes. And really wasn't bothered, just the occasional today, you move it a certain way type of
Are
thing.
you kidding?
But through the round was not bothered. And was on pace to go under 90 again. But went to finish out the round, went double, par, triple.
Where are you?
Yeah, where are you to shoot 93? But hey, we'll take it.
The consistent jacking.
And I think one thing that I have to do a better job of, and it's just so hard at times, is just to not, speaking of actually consistent jacking, is not to like jack up my swing. And I feel like sometimes I go into a shot, all right, I'm just going to take a nice full swing, don't need to speed it up. And I just always have this temptation, Tony, as I'm coming through to just
to rip
swing as hard as possible. And then that's always a sinking liner. Do you when you're swinging a golf club, you have the same issue sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes I literally have to tell myself to slow down. And I've had people tell me to slow down before. They're like, dude, like you're trying to whack the ball. Like, don't like slow down. Like it's about the motion. Like, come on, dude. Like just settle down a little bit. So
yeah.
It happens because everyone wants to crank. Of course, you want to hit. You want to hit one 300 yards, don't you, dude? Like, yeah,
of course. But sometimes a more smoother, slower, compact swing, that seems to get the job done. Better.
Hit for the single, dude. You're trying to hit. Get on base. All right.
Pop up over second base. That's all you need. That's all you need.
How's the hand though?
The hand is pretty much good. Like I said, I think it's something like, I don't know, force against it, like going this way. That's kind of what hurts, but just going like this, it's fine. So we'll get the next 2 days off, try to get some ice in if we can.
You do, Brian.
He's due, law of averages. We'll track that situation, and I guess I can give an update at the Horseshoe on that.
Buddy.
On Sunday. Can't wait for that. 6:30. We better see you all there.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I think Jay's going to be there.
Oh, really? Okay.
I asked him when he's coming home. He comes home on Sunday, so he'll be back by 5 o'clock or 5:30. And he said just in time for sports. So I'm assuming he'll be headed right over to the bar. I mean, come on, dude.
We know Jay. He'll be there.
He better.
He'll be there. So definitely excited about that. I'll keep everybody posted on this golf tournament if we have any developments before our end of show leaderboard. But let's go now to the world of Major League Baseball.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play! Stop it, Skip.
And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight. And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Too deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right, people. So here we go. MLB. Brian, step outside. I'll be taking over for Brian indefinitely. No, just for now. So obviously, it's me. We're going to start out with the Mets, who lost in a very dramatic fashion, get swept by the Braves in this 3-game set in Atlanta here. And that's right. You see that score correctly on your screen. 13-10 in 10 innings. Obviously, a lot to unpack here. So what I really wanted to do, and I'll wait for Brian, honestly, to show this. But let's just unpack. Oh, motherfuck. Let's just unpack some scoring here. As this breakdown is as disastrous as this game. So Justin Verlander on the mound. We understand what the position the Mets are in now here through the first 62 games. We know the storyline, but you have a bright spot in Justin Verlander. He's one of your top pitchers, $40 million a year, yada, yada, yada. Let's go. His final line for this game, 3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them being earned runs, 4 walks, only 3 Ks, and give up a solo shot. So let's just get to it here. In the first inning, right? Austin Riley, for the Braves with Acuna on base here, homers to right field. That makes it 2-0 real quick. Again, still bottom of the first with Rosario with an RBI single. Travis d'Arnaud scores on a fielding error by Marte. And he's literally Marte is just asleep at the wheel here. It's really embarrassing. But so you get out of the first inning here, 3-0, and I believe that Verlander gave up 4 hits in the first inning here, so clearly nothing was good here. He wasn't ready. Again, I understand the Braves, the lineup, it's very good, but I mean, you're looking at, for example, that Riley home run was a 4-seamer over the middle of the plate, clocked in at 94. That at bat against Riley, first pitch for a ball, 4-seamer. Next 2 pitches, a strike looking and a strike swinging on the 4-seam fastball, and then a ball slider, fouled off 4-seam fastball, and then another 4-seamer for the home run by Riley. And again, Verlander, we know he can throw some cheese. He can fan a lot of batters. That's his strikeout pitch, but he just wasn't getting that rising action on the fastball, which is exactly what Spencer Strider was doing. He was, that was Strider's fastball was just running up on batters, and that's what Verlander was going for. Did not have it from the get-go, clearly. And again, you want to break down some more of the Rosario RBI single. What pitch was it off of? A 4-seam fastball that was kind of low middle zone here. But again, not getting that rising action that he wants. And that was just in the first inning. And, you look at, Darno's single. What pitch was it off of? A 4-seam fastball. So it's like, I understand, like, the strikeout was there. Even Acuna, a leadoff double. What pitch was it off of? A 4-seam fucking fastball. So, Verlander just, I guess, just tried to jam it in there. It wasn't working from the get-go. Not at all the start you want. Being down 3-0. The Mets are outscored 49-14 this season in the first inning. Absolutely atrocious to start off games like that. That's ridiculous. Your starting pitcher, one of your aces, gave up 4 hits in the first as well. Absolutely ridiculous. And honestly, just because, Brian's out there. So I'll show the play. This literally, quite literally sums up what the play was like for the Mets last night.
Rosario 1 for 8 in this series.
There it is. This is Marte. Oh, what are you doing, dude? Where are you going? Who do you think you are, bro? What the fuck kind of? I'm not here, dude. Sure, and then there's the stat: 49-14 in the first fucking inning, dude. Like, what are you doing? How do you start a? How do you start? I really, honestly, have no words for that. Really have no words. And again, that's just setting the tone. The Mets just setting the tone here for this game. And miraculously, you go to the top of the second, and the Mets are actually able to score. Not only score, but take the lead here in the second. And it starts off with a single from Lindor, 4-seamer that he kind of pulls into left field. Love to see that. Brett Beatty brings it up here. Another single. And this was nice. This was a slider by Strider, low in the middle, but low, sinking here. And Beatty was able to track it, adjust his swing, hit it for a single to right field. Again, like, didn't get much on it, but got a bloop single to right. Love that. 2 men on right now. Marte, I suppose, does make up for the lack of defense the previous inning, but RBI single, scores Lindor, makes it 3-1. Pham up, strikes out swinging. Narvaez actually singles, which brings Marte to second, Beatty to third. Vientos there, who started at first. We'll get on top of him, I guess, as we move along after the breakdown here. But bases juice, dude, here. 2 outs, Brendan Nimmo. And we've talked about this before, I think. Brendan Nimmo, with runners on, Nimmo is actually a really aggressive hitter, loves swinging on the first pitch. Strider gives him a 4-seamer, 95, but over the middle of the plate. Nimmo takes him yard, makes it 5-3, just like that. Grand salami, dude. Absolutely love that. And right away, you again, like, first inning sucks, second inning you turn around. Now you have a 2-run lead. It's 5-3. Moving on here now to the top of the third as the Mets continue to tack on some runs here. Jeff McNeil starts off the inning with a single. Lindor gets walked, so you have runners on first and second. Brett Beatty with an RBI single to left field. McNeil's able to score on that. Lindor goes to second. And then, Marte's up. Buck calls for the double steal. Beatty and Lindor both steal. So you got, Lindor going to third, Beatty going to second. Love that aggressive base running. Love the double steal call. It always jacks up a defense. Catcher doesn't know where to go. I think that's always great. And unfortunately, you have runners in scoring position with one out. Tommy Pham strikes out swinging, and Omar Narvaez flies out to left. Ends the inning there, but still 6-3. However, the next half inning here, bottom of the third, Verlander, again, he has a 3-run lead now that he's working with. So you think maybe he can calm down, settle down, dial it in here. Leadoff walk to Travis d'Arnaud. A 5-pitch walk here. Again, tries to throw in some, starts him off with a slider, low and away, gets him to strike. He just looked at it. But then just had no control. I mean, the next 2 sliders were both balls, and of course, the next 2 pitches, which were 4-seam fastballs, were both balls. Leadoff walk there for Verlander. Gets a flat by Rosario, but then Ozzie Albies is up, walks him. So again, Verlander really struggling with the control here. Trying to work in the slider, it just was not there. Ozuna strikes out swinging though. So you have 2 outs, 2 men on. Arcia here comes up with a an RBI single, scores d'Arnaud, makes it 6-4. Michael Harris up after that, 4-pitch walk from Verlander. Absolutely lost in this third inning, could not find the strike zone, had 3 walks in this third inning. After that, oh, look at that. Ronald Acuna Jr. walked for his 4th walk of the inning, brings in Albies, makes it 6-5, strikes out Matt Olson, who comes up, whatever though. At that point, you're not really having any confidence in Justin Verlander at all on the mound. However, Mets continue their offense here. Top of the 4th, Alvarez is up with 2 outs, homers, 392 feet to right center. That was a 4-seam fastball that, again, like Strider was trying to get what he was in the first inning, trying to get that rising fastball. It was not rising on him. It was sitting over the middle. And Alvarez just absolutely cranks one. And then again here, top of the 5th, the Mets continue some scoring here with Marte on. Pham hits a nice RBI double, which scores Marte. That makes it 9-5 now at this point. Mets are leading by 4 runs. Bottom of the 5th, Nogasek is in. Leadoff home run to Marcell Ozuna. This is where the bullpen really starts to really just fall apart here. As you were losing confidence, as we have been in our bullpen. That was another 4-seam fastball over the middle of the plate by Seth over here. And then Arcia flies out after that, gives up a double to Michael Harris. Buck pulls him, brings in Brigham. And he's able to end the inning there. 9-6, so limits the damage there. Love to see that. And then, of course, top of the 6th, Mets offense is still ringing here. Francisco Alvarez, 1 out with no men on, cranks another dinger for his 2nd of the game.
He's hitting too many home runs.
He really is. I don't even know. I want to say that's like his 10th home run. 11th,
Isn't
right?
Unbelievable. After a little bit of a slow start.
Yeah, it's so great. That's another, and that was off of a sinker actually that he was kind of sitting on. So he's not just waiting on fastballs. He's actually reading pitches here, which is great to see that. And that one was to dead center, 416 feet. Love to see that. Mets still have a 4-run lead. It's 10-6 now as we go into the bottom of the 6th here. Bring him on. Gets a ground out. Also gives up a hit. So with 1 man on, they actually bring in Rayleigh, who unfortunately gives up an RBI single. This was actually a really good at bat by Rosario, or at least a good hit. It was a sweeper almost on his back foot. And again, he was able to get down Rosario with that quick bat. Ended up scoring Riley 10-7, but Riley has Albies and Ozuna both fly out right after that to end the inning. Things are pretty, copacetic until now. The bottom of the 8th, as Drew Smith comes in, which is someone who's been kind of struggling to locate his pitches, really only has his fastball to go to. Speaking of which, he gets Olsen to ground out on a 4-seamer that was really high in the zone, which was great. Had him swing over it. But then Riley comes in, starts him off with back-to-back curveballs. I don't know why, if it's, he, again, normally throws a lot of fastballs, but falls down the count, 2-0. Gets a strike with the fastball, and then again, high cheese he was throwing, but then I guess left the fastball over the middle. Riley gets a single, and then Travis d'Arnaud gives him a hanging curveball of the middle of the plate, just sitting there, dude. Darno was sitting on it. Crank's 2-run homer, making it 10-9. At that point, they pull Drew Smith, bring in Robertson. So they're gonna, ask Robertson to get 2 outs in the 8th and then bring him back in the 9th, right? And he gets that. He strikes out Rosario in the 8th. Albies lines out to end the inning there. Unfortunately, here, and then top of the 9th there for the Mets. I think actually, I want to say Chavez is in. Yeah, top of the 9th. They have bases loaded with 1 out. Narvaez strikes out swinging. Vientos strikes out swinging. Ends the inning. Leaves runners stranded, dude. So obviously in a 10-9 game, you would like to have scored a couple more insurance runs. Bases juiced, 1 out. Mets couldn't get it going, I guess. Big spots. Narvaez and Vientos kind of folded because we saw the offense cooking all game. This is the only point where the offense wasn't cooking. But now go to bottom of the 9th. David Robertson. I believe this is the 7th time that Buck is asking Robertson to work in multiple innings. And he's done really well. I know I'm going to kind of defend him a little bit. He's done really well so far this season, honestly, with those requests. To put things into perspective for you, Brian, over the course of the entire season last year, Edwin Diaz was only asked to go multiple innings 7 times the entire year. Robertson here, 62 games in, has already been asked 7 times.
And if we could, I just was thinking about this while you were kind of doing your synopsis. And I think this is like kind of like a no shit suggestion, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I don't care. I know like the common thing is, all right, well, you fix the bullpen and trade deadline. You got to do it now.
I know.
If you don't, you're literally trade deadline. You're going to be 10 under.
Yeah.
Literally.
And it's going to, because this team was supposed to be heavy on the rotation. It's not.
And
rotation
the thing
sucks.
is, relievers, I know, like, especially at the deadline, I get it. If there's a guy like last year, for instance, Josh Hader that's available, he's going to be a hot commodity.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, to get guys that aren't at the top of the list, kind of in the middle pack, even if you have to overpay a little more than you would at the deadline, it's not going to be that crazy. And I know we've talked about Chapman a lot. So I think that's an option. And I did see an article that he's actually part of a package deal with Scott Barlow.
Really?
The actual closure for the Royals. Chapman's been setting him up.
That's dope.
I think you need at least actually 2 relievers.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, you need to bolster the bullpen for sure. How good Chapman could be. I mean, for that package, it's something to look into. I know that the Mets have also been sending scouts over to Cincinnati.
For Alexis Diaz, I was going to say that. I mean, I think that obviously he's the most talented reliever, but you will have to give up a lot, especially that we're this far in front of the trade deadline.
Yeah. So it should be interesting to see what they do.
Hendricks is an option too, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Now, would you rather do Hendricks and name whatever reliever you want, maybe a different team or somebody on Chicago, Chapman and Barlow, or exclusively just Alexis Diaz?
Again, like I really don't want to give up too much for Diaz, so I guess I would go Chapman and Barlow as a package too for
because that really lengthens the bullpen.
Yeah.
Both guys can close.
Yeah,
you could put Ottavino temporarily at least in the 5th, 6th inning, just
settle down a little bit, dude.
He can't be pitching late in games.
Yeah, and then as we're gonna see too in this 9th inning here, Robertson can't be really pulling all this weight either. He had a really tough night, and you saw on his face. His first at bat against Marcell Ozuna, 7-pitch at bat, does get the strikeout on a cutter, strikeout looking, which is great. And then Arcia is now up, another 7-pitch at bat. So they're really having him work for it. There's literally the 6th pitch, right? So just to kind of put things in perspective here, it's a 2-2 count. The 6th pitch of the at bat here is a knuckle curve. That Arcia, does swing on, check swing, should have been a strike for the out. Instead, first base ump says he didn't swing, and he did go there. Saw in the replay, the dugout was screaming and shit at him. But nothing you could do. Very next pitch, cutter that was high. Arcia just swung at it and cranked a home run to tie the game. And Robertson was absolutely devastated. Again, what should have been the second out of the inning ended up being a game-tying home run.
When I was watching the Yankee game last night, I was just talking about this with John. There's no such thing as getting 4 outs in an inning. Every single time you let somebody off the hook, it ends up coming back to bite. I literally almost like never see that not happen. I feel like it happens at least 60% of the time, 70% of the time.
Yeah.
Extra outs. These guys are too good for it.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. So super tough, dude, to see that. Again, he ends up getting out of the inning. Strikes out Michael Harris next. Give up a single to Acuna, but then Ellison flies out. We're going to the 10th now, where we have Iglesias coming in for Atlanta. It was a 3 up and 3 down situation for the Mets, as their offense, I guess, was just exhausted. I don't know, man. They just seemed kind of beaten down. They scored 10 runs. They had the lead the entire game almost. You had a 5-1 lead. You had a 6-3, a 7-3, a 10-4, 10-6 lead. I think that they were just absolutely done. And then you bring in Tommy Hunter here in the 10th, which is not exactly what you want. Riley fouls out to third for the first out. Darno gets walked. Rosario lines out. So again here now with 2 outs, Ozzie Albies, just a cutter over the middle of the plate, and he cranks one. 3-run blast here. Braves go on to win 13-10. Obviously a total gut-wrenching loss. I think, I don't know, the Braves have won something like 14 out of the last 7 games we faced them. Like, they absolutely been owning us, swept us here, obviously, in a very dramatic fashion in 10 innings, scoring 13 runs, like, absolutely hammering Verlander. I was saying before too, first inning, Brian, Verlander gave up 5 hits. So this season, the Mets have been outscored in the first inning 49-14. And it's just those games where you start off like absolute dog shit, and the Mets were still able to pull their heads above water for the whole game. Again, like, you look at the box score, you look at this lineup here. The Mets were actually working really well. Nimmo, obviously the grand slam. Alvarez, who's at the DH spot, batting in the 2-hole here, 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs, 2 home runs. We know. Jeff McNeil was actually 2 for 6. But got a run in. Lindor was 2 for 4 with a walk. Beatty was 2 for 4 with an RBI. You had Marte, who was 3 for 5 with an RBI. Tommy Pham had an RBI. Narvaez was 1 for 5. He got on base. He did okay to come in. Vientos, who played first, had absolutely no bat, 0 for 5. I said in big spots he struck out too. But he was playing first base. He did look good at first base. Brett Beatty made some phenomenal plays at third. In the bottom of the 6th, I think it was, Beatty had a great diving play at third, got the man out at first. As I said, he had his RBI, I think, 17th of the season. Nimmo made a phenomenal play in the outfield too. Diving catch to keep the Mets in this game numerous times, because the pitching just was not there. I mentioned Verlander's line only going 3 innings. You had every bullpen pitcher except for Rayleigh give up at least 1 earned run. Nogasek, Brigham, and Robertson, of course, 1 earned run. Drew Smith and Hunter, both 2 earned runs. Nothing was really great for your pitching. Verlander had 4 walks too. And again, the first inning was trash, dude. I don't know if you saw this play by Marte in the outfield in the first inning, dude. I think, yeah, okay, it's the next play. Literally, dude, you see everyone get hit here. Actually, let me make sure this is, yeah, okay, it's cool. Again, just should be a base hit, dude. Like, are you kidding? And you give a run because of that.
No, Buck's got to go.
Like, are you kidding me, dude?
I know
what
it's on
is
the
that,
player,
dude?
But dude, he's not setting the tone right. He's not. Stuff like that happening.
Unbelievable,
Blowing leads,
bro.
There's no passion. There's no urgency. It's time to go.
No, I mean, I think we're teetering on it, honestly, because like you said, it's just been so different from last year. Honestly, it just seems like Buck has been kind of silenced. He's just not talking. And on top of that, I mean, I don't mind the lineup. I mean, obviously with Alonso hurt, you have to figure out something, right? And I think putting Vientos at first base, I mean, I like that move. Just to get him some looks at the field. Unfortunately, his bat has been so quiet. His average is 162. He's kind of been struggling, actually.
But you know what? You'd rather have him struggle than Vogelback, no?
No, yeah, you're totally right. Vogelback didn't start. That's great. Alvarez played DH. Again, as long as he's, I don't care if Narvaez is catching. As long as Alvarez is in the lineup, that's great. Obviously, he made a big impact on the game. But I think, I know it's tough. Even, Marte, unfortunately, had a big offensive, impact on the game as well. And other than that, that was really his only mistake, but that was like pure laziness. And, to what you're saying about Buck, I think at this point, dude, I think Buck and both him and Epler are definitely kind of on their last licks here with the Mets. I mean, the rest of the season continues the way it is. I mean, it's sayonara, honestly, dude.
Oh,
I mean, and you're looking at Epler, you look at his trade deadline last year. I mean, it wasn't great. So, I mean, do you want to get rid of him now? Do you trust him with a trade deadline where the Mets are going to have to come up huge? And the Mets are in this really uniquely horrible position, whereas they were trying to do two things at once, which was, obviously win a World Series now, but at the same time, develop your youth. Right now, your youth is up. And your youth is doing well, but the guys that you're paying $40 million a year for are not. So you can't really move them. You don't want to give up your youth. So again, you're in this really unique position where the team was kind of set up obviously poorly because based on the some of the outcomes here, but your hands are tied in terms of what you can give up, dude. Like you don't want to give up any of your youth. And you kind of can't really move some of the bigger contract guys. So it puts them in a unique situation in terms of, what to do, how to acquire better guys, because you need to make moves for sure. And right now at 30 and 33, 3 games under, the division lead is seemingly going further and further away from you. You got, series against the Pirates coming up here. You don't really feel great about anything. Of course, if you're hitting like you did against the Braves, scoring, they didn't score less than 5 runs in any of these games. So,
do you think Marte gets a tribute video?
Sure, Brian.
Or you think they're tight PD suspension towards the end?
I mean, I don't know. Was he even that great with Pittsburgh?
Had,
I mean,
good couple seasons, I guess you could say.
So I don't know. I don't think Pittsburgh really cares about him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so absolute gut-wrenching loss, dude. Mets fans all over the place are just absolutely fed up with this just incompetence and just lack of effort, lack of energy. It just, if anything goes right, a million other things go wrong with the Mets. And just literally, like people were saying on the radio, like they're cursed. It certainly seems like it. I understand. I said it yesterday with the Braves is a great team and great teams find ways to win. That's what the Braves did. But by God, dude, like you totally fucked this game. Like every pitcher sucked. And then when you needed to in big spots hit, you couldn't. Like when like in the 9th inning when you needed extra runs, you couldn't fucking do it, dude. You had more than enough opportunities. You had all the fucking leads in the world, and you absolutely blew it. And anything that was really left, like for Mets fans to be like kind of riding high on, it's not like, oh well, we got one from the Braves. We can go into Pittsburgh. We can sweep them. We can get above 500 again. Get closer to Miami. No, like nothing was good. Nothing's gonna be
nothing.
Good, there's nothing, dude.
So I think, like I said, I mean, make the trades today. There's some teams that are buried. I was looking up, more players as well. You could package Graveman with Hendricks as well. For the White Sox, Daniel Bard hasn't really been giving closing opportunities since coming off the injured list from his anxiety issues. He's walked a lot of batters, but you look at his track record with Colorado since he came out of that long retirement that he had after he pitched for the Boston Red Sox. He's been pretty good. I don't think he'd cost you much. They're not making the playoffs. They're looking to move people. So I think, that's another option. And I just think you need to be aggressive in that manner and make sure that you just get these guys now. Hunter Harvey on the Nationals, he's having a good year. Just bring him in. Just bring in new guys. And also too, and I know I always talk about this, about the Yankees player development and scouting department, but I mean, I was looking at the stats for the pitchers between Double and Triple A. There's literally one guy that looks like he's worthy of a call up, and he's in Double-A. His name is Mike Vassell. This year, 9 starts.
Mike Vassell.
3.13. He's 23 years old. And he struck out 54 batters in 46 innings. Call him up now.
I know.
What are you waiting for?
We talked about him last week.
Yeah.
There's him, and then there's one guy who's actually more highly touted prospect, who's a pitcher. I forget his name. But yeah, Vassell has been doing really well. Why not?
But 10 starters between Double and Triple A. I think maybe 2 guys have an ERA under 5.
Yeah, it's tough.
mean, it's so embarrassing.
Well, this is it, dude. I mean, this is like your farm is up, you know, like you tried to draft Kumar Rocker too. Obviously that didn't work out. You hear he's getting Tommy John surgery too.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
So kind of dodged bullet there, I suppose, but
Dodged a bullet with DeGrom and then took 800 bullets on the field.
yeah. So
sorry, I know.
we have a few comments, I think.
A few.
Yeah, Buffer, all from Buffer, really.
Hey.
He says, hey, he says, play some Brian sound clips. Ha ha ha. Mets first baseman Alonso like to head to IL. Heyman reported that this morning on Twitter, seemingly saying that Alonso has something bothering him. They don't know what it is, getting an MRI. Mets could be without Pete Alonso for a few weeks. I mean, if it is a broken bone, which I don't think it is, because again, x-rays came back negative. Which I know people are talking about, oh, broken wrist 4 to 8 weeks. We're never going to see him again. People got to pump the brakes a little bit. So I guess we'll see. It might be something where he's just out for, maybe 2 to 4, hopefully. Referral says, Buck Showalter proud of Mets for getting humiliated in Atlanta. I mean, like any manager, he's going to point out the positives. I'm not going to, obviously knock him for that, but obviously it's not good. I mean, if I'm Buck Showalter and I'm in this post-game conference, I personally am going to be ripping my players at this point. Like, I'm going to talk about the negatives. I'm going to say, oh, yeah, we have some good positives. Alvarez, great. Love that. Nimmo, did a great job with the grand slam. First pitch fastball, just absolutely swung at it. But then it's like, oh, wait, where's our bullpen? Marte, the tone, Verlander wasn't good. Like, you have to be talking about these things openly, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know what happens behind closed doors, but I mean, that's the whole point. Like, put pressure on your players. Sure, right. Dude. Like, I don't understand. And then Burford says, unless the Mets turn things around quickly, it's becoming increasingly difficult to imagine Buck Showalter, the NL Manager of the Year in 2022, lasting the entire season. He also says, get Chapman. Matt, who's been watching, says that he's great show. Love yous. Back in Sono, pumped to watch the rest later. Deuces, he says. Matthew, I will see you later, dude. That's a fact.
Love it.
So yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's just tough. I mean, nothing's looking good at all. I mean, the season seems like it's over, honestly. If you really want to be honest. I mean, it's just like there's no way. Like, can you see the Mets making a push for the wild card? No.
Yeah, I mean, unless they make trades now, like I said, make trades now, get Vassell up here.
Try Mauricio up here too.
And I honestly would just fire Buck now. I know, oh, wait, what do you know what I mean? When the writing's on the wall, the writing's on the wall. We've talked about this so many times.
Yeah.
When you think you know something, like that's like, a guy used to be good, but the last 3 years, his average is under 200. He has no power. Let's just give him one more try. What's going to happen? You know what I mean?
No, thank you.
You just have seen it, for too many times in a row.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So we'll be interested to see, how they perform this weekend in Pittsburgh, and also, if they make any moves here, with, a month and almost 2 months till the trade deadline.
Probably DFAing Vogelback would be your first move.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I also saw Verlander's already given up more than 3 runs in his starts than he did all last season. I don't know if you saw that statistic.
I did.
I don't know. I still think he's going to be okay. I think it's really just bad energy rubbing around the entire team.
Yeah.
Pitching wise, I know offensively, you've seen some signs of success, but pitching wise, it just has been atrocious.
I think, again, I don't know how he feels about his off-speed pitches, but his first inning for Verlander, he was just trying to hammer fastballs, dude. And again, like, it was fine. Like, his fastball hits 95. But like, the Braves batters clearly knew, I guess, what they were looking at, because they were fouling off these fastballs. He gave up 5 hits in the first inning. They were all off of fastballs. I think a couple of them were off of sliders because he was forced to go to it. But I think Verlander was almost a little too stubborn too, with just trying to yam fastballs in there. He was trying to get that rising fastball action, but he wasn't. It was middle. So he's got to make an adjustment too, I feel. But I agree. I think it is just, the energy, not even around just pitching, around just everyone, around the clubhouse in general. Like, it cannot feel good. Nothing is good, dude. Nothing. There's nothing good here.
So all you could do is play the games on the schedule, and you just got to hope this weekend is very successful.
Sweep Pirates.
I know stuff doesn't point to it, but do it. You know, what
You
I mean?
have to.
If you're serious,
Like,
you'll
I
do
don't give
it.
a shit. You have to sweep the Pirates. Score 50 runs
yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what happens, and we'll talk about their game in a sec. The Yankees did have that doubleheader yesterday due to the haze, that we had
baby.
on Wednesday. First game, unfortunately, did not end up going their way as they fall 6-5 in a game that it seemed like they had control of. We did get Lance Lynn versus Severino. Both pitchers did not pitch well. You look at Lynn's final line, 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 6.72 ERA this year. Luis Severino gave up 3 home runs in the first 3 innings and only went 5, striking out 6, but giving up 4 runs and 2 walks and 6 hits. And the thing is, they were talking about on the broadcast, the reason why they say he's struggling is the fact that his fastball, which has usually been his out pitch, that high fastball, he's not getting the swings and misses that he was the last couple of years. And the trouble started, the first inning, he had a couple runners on, was able to get out of it. But second inning, he gave up a 2-run homer to Jake Berger. That made it 2-0 White Sox. Yankees, fortunately, in the bottom half of that inning, answered back. You had a Higashioka double scoring Billy McKinney, who was up, to fill Aaron Judge's roster spot. And then Willie Calhoun with a single to left scoring Higashioka. So that tied the game at 2. But unfortunately, Severino gives up a home run to Luis Robert, 424 feet to center field. That made it 3-2 White Sox. And then a home run to Yoan Moncada, a 380-foot home run to right center. So that made it 4-2. Yankees did answer back, though. Willie Calhoun tying the game at 4, 2-run homer to right center, scoring Higashioka. And then in the bottom half of the 5th, Oswaldo Cabrera with a single to left, scoring Jake Bauers. That made it 5-4. You felt pretty good. You went to your bullpen after Severino only went 5. Cordero and Peralta combined to get through the 6th inning. You bring in Michael King for the 7th. And it was the rare time in that 7th inning. Michael King did not have it. And he gives up a 2-run homer to Eloy Jimenez. Very shocking, giving up the lead, making it, 6-5 White Sox. And unfortunately, the Yankees were not able to get anything done. And it was very disheartening because in the 9th inning, there was a clear rally opportunity. They had first and second, nobody out, and they don't get the run in. Rizzo ends the game on grounding into a double play. It was so pathetic that you couldn't at least tie the game in that situation. And it's just really annoying with Rizzo that he was on such a hot streak. And then, he gets injured covering first base. I believe it was Tatis who had slid into first on a pickoff throw.
Rizzo.
And he hasn't been the same. I think he's 2 for 20, whatever the case may be. And it, a couple fly balls. He was kind of close yesterday, but I hope, they were alluding to, they think he's close to it, but I don't know. It's tough because we really need him now, with Stanton out. So end of the day, it was a very disappointing loss, especially a game you battled back after going down early. And then you had your best reliever on the mound going multiple innings, and, it just wasn't enough. So that was game 1. Fortunately, game 2 brought some more optimism as the Yankees actually shut out the White Sox 3-0. Randy Vasquez as the 27th man. It was his second start in the major leagues after that start against San Diego. He was lights out. He gave him 5 2/3, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Just such good control, 54 out of 86 for strikes, hitting corners, getting ahead in counts. And he had walked a batter and then hit Luis Robert with a pitch. So they went to Marinaccio to finish the 6th. And then he gave him actually 2 1/3 scoreless, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, no hits. So nice to see Marinaccio answering the bell. He's had a kind of an up and down season. His ERA sits at 3.68. In terms of the Yankees with the 3 runs, and it was very interesting. I don't know if you saw this play, Tony, but Willie Calhoun hit a ball in the right field, down the right field line into the corner. Close play at second base. He's initially called out in the field. Yeah. Right away, he signals to challenge it. You look at the replay, and the tag was missed. but the laces of the glove, I think it was Tim Anderson, I want to say, grazed the jersey. So the announcer
Really?
is saying, "Oh, well, the laces do touch it. So does that mean he's out?" There was, a lengthy
inning is this?
review. This is in the 4th inning. So we'll see if we can pull this up. But they end up overturning this call, and I guess this is it right here. The announcers were saying that they just changed the rule within the last couple of years where laces don't count as tagging someone out, which is interesting. But I think
Right.
John actually was suggesting that maybe the reason that they do that is because they don't want guys getting like longer laces, and it
Oh,
just
yeah.
gets out of hand.
Yeah,
So,
I could see that.
but remarkable that this tag did not get down. Oh, it was Elvis Andrews. But right away, Willie Calhoun knew he was
Right.
safe. And this changed the game. So are we able to play this for everybody?
Yeah, it's up there right now.
Oh, this is. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Tony, ahead of the game there. I missed that
Under
part.
review. Yep. No. Safe.
What did you know that about the laces?
No, I did not.
But it obviously
It makes sense. Yeah, it does. It does make sense.
So that was the turning point in this game because next batter, Gleyber Torres, a homer to left center. He'd been going through a little slump. His 10th homer of the season. That made it 2-0. The following inning, Billy McKinney hitting his first home run since 2021 in the major leagues. A shot to right center, 407 feet. That's all the Yankees needed because Clay Holmes in the bottom of the ninth, or the top of the ninth, worked around a walk to get his 7th save of the season. So he's really kind of turn things around after a rough stretch, and the Yankees take the second half of this doubleheader to go to 37-27. Of course, the Rays win yesterday, so that lead is now 8.5. So work to be done, but it was nice to get that second game of this doubleheader after a gut-wrenching loss in game 1. And you like to see guys like Calhoun and McKinney contributing. And you just got to hope guys like Rizzo and Stanton and Donaldson's had some nice plays. He had a nice play yesterday, and then it was on Tuesday. He did, I don't know if you saw the play, but he went into foul territory. Like the classic like Derek Jeter jump throw. In the hole from short,
love that.
But
dude.
did that from third.
That's sick, dude.
A dart on the line.
Yeah.
So it is amazing.
Could you do that?
No.
You think you could do that?
It's a pretty tough.
I know, very tough.
I'm not accurate with my.
Was he on the bat? Was it off a hop or?
Yeah, off a hop.
The ball was the ball.
Yeah, but I mean,
still.
No. Oh, I thought you meant the hit ball. No. It was a dart throw, line drive.
That's pretty sick.
And it's amazing at his age. You would think that part would deteriorate, but of course it's the bat that is deteriorating. So and then they were making some statistic. I guess he's like tied in the league for defensive runs saved since last year. So
that's kind of good.
It is. It is annoying that it does help having that at third.
Dude, third base is important.
They bat him cleanup yesterday. Just stop with that.
Why they bat him cleanup?
Can we just bat him 9? That's all I want. Then it's like, all right, whatever. I mean, I know we got a lot of injuries right now. Harrison Bader is eligible to return from the injury list on Sunday. I guess they're saying he's not going to be activated then, but it appears next week. He won't even need a rehab assignment. So at least to get him back, then IKF can move back into that utility role.
Right.
And you just hope from left field, whether it's Willie Calhoun, Billy McKinney, that you could get some production because Oswaldo Cabrera has really been struggling with the bat. Who knows if he ends up getting sent down when Bader comes back up. So the Yankees, right now hanging on to that third wild card spot, holding with bait and breath, when Aaron Judge is going to come back. We should have some clarity on that next week. Okay. After the Houston loss, and I didn't realize they've lost 2 in a row. They're actually in second now, and are 2.5 games ahead of or about 2.5 games behind the Orioles for the first wild card spot.
Wow.
Obviously, we'd like the division, but we just need an extended run here. It's tough with Judge out, but it can be done, especially when Judge and Rizzo are locked in. And this series against the Red Sox, who have had one of the worst stretches in Major League Baseball of recent, 3-7 in their last 10, 1 game under 500. You got to sweep them. That's it. It's a big rivalry. I get it. But their pitchers cannot get anybody out. Perfect for this lineup, who it definitely has struggled with top tier pitching. You're not going to see that this weekend. That's for sure. So I feel confident that They could sweep them. Then if you do sweep them, you go to 40-27, and I feel like that puts you on pretty good footing. And you're gonna have to play lights out to win a division, but at least get the top wild card spot. So I think there are reasons for optimism. I loved what Randy Vasquez did, and you would think, obviously Herman and Schmidt have turned it around. Maybe Rodon within the month is back, but that there would be some type of opportunity. Because let me tell you, Randy Vasquez, even though his ERA is 5 in AAA, especially last night, and I thought his first start he wasn't bad, commanding the strike zone, looking like a veteran pitcher. I mean, it's hard to not want to trot that out every 5 days.
Yeah.
You're
right.
I mean, what do you think they should do? I mean, like I said, I know, Rodon will be back eventually. And then of course Nestor as well. I mean, do you put Schmidt or Herman in the bullpen, or do you think they've been pitching well? You don't want to mess with it, despite Vasquez pitching lights out last night.
Yeah, no, it's super tough. I think I would throw Herman in the bullpen if I had to choose someone. Because I don't know, I just feel like Schmidt, if he's doing well where he is, you got to keep him there because he's someone that's been kind of messed with, been kind of wonky, right?
Herman's an asshole, so he deserves it.
Yes, I also think he could be effective out of the bullpen as well.
Right.
But this new guy Vasquez, was he a touted prospect, or what was his deal? Was he just had a good years in the minors this year?
Good year last year. No, good year last year. This year, the ERA has been at 5. He's worked his way up the ranks, but I hadn't heard of him till he made his major league debut against the Padres.
That's sick, dude.
But yeah, if you're pitching well, you got to be out there. And then also, I mean, it's nice to have Herman in the bullpen to give you multiple innings. But I think it's just one of those things that's going to be start by start. If he dominates the Red Sox tomorrow, he's not going to be out of the rotation. But if I could see, and I know I agree with you. You don't want to keep doing this with Clark Schmidt. But I do think if he does get bombed his next time out,
short leash.
Vasquez might get the call back up, and Schmidt might go to the bullpen.
I would like that, dude.
So we will see.
Yeah, dude.
Obviously the Yankees got that game tonight at the stadium. I know they had kind of been coy. That is the Red Sox about who was starting, but I believe it is going to be Garrett Whitlock. I just wanted to double check that. I think Houck is supposed to pitch
confirmed
tomorrow. So you're going to get a matchup of Whitlock versus Garrett Cole. So you love that matchup, and Garrett Whitlock out of another guy that's been back and forth with the rotation, the bullpen, former Yankee farmhand. The Red Sox were able to get him in the Rule 5 draft. But he's just not pitching well. 2-2, 5.61. Cole undefeated, 7-0, 2.82, but definitely has shown some cracks. Maybe through his last 10 starts, but I think this is a good opportunity. A Red Sox team that is struggling. This has got to be the jacked up Garrett Cole, Tony, that's pitching into the 8th inning. Give that Yankee bullpen a rest after, you taxing the bullpen yesterday, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do.
Oh yeah,
I want to say he's going to go 7 1/3, strike out 9. Maybe allow 5 hits and 1 run and really set the tone for the Yankees. And I think Stanton and finally Rizzo getting into the mix here. I think they'll each hit a home run. And I think at the end of the day, the Yankees are going to take out the Red Sox here in game 1. I'm going to say 5-2. And move to 38-27.
Love it.
What do you think McGill and the boys are going to do against Rich Hill and the Pirates?
That's right, dude. The the Mets facing, former Met great Rich Hill.
If it was at City, they would have done the
tribute video. Yeah, probably, dude. They should bring one anyway to Pittsburgh and make him play it. So I mean, I don't know, dude. Rich Hill, I mean, absolutely sucks, dude. So again,
dude, with the off speed, I thought you were right.
I mean, dude, honestly, it wasn't terrible when he was with the Mets, honestly. But here with the Pirates here, Rich Hill's stats are not great. Excuse me, sorry. Of course, ESPN doesn't more. Okay, here we go. He's 4.41 ERA. He's 5-5 on this season. You look at his last few starts here. He had St. Louis, who we know is struggling with their bats here. 6 2/3, 1 run. But before that, in San Francisco, 6 innings, 6 earned runs. Texas, 5 1/3, 5 earned runs. So, teams with good lineups, like per se the Mets lineup, which has been hitting really well as of recently. I really can't see Rich Hill getting past like 4 2/3, honestly. I think by the 4th inning, the Mets should be up 6-0. I think McGill should be dealing. I think maybe come 6th inning, McGill gives up a run. Bullpen, you're gonna throw out a Vino out there for sure. I would try. I mean, Robertson's been doing 2 innings, right? So I guess you would try to want Ottavino to close the game.
Do you?
I guess. And again, like you really you're gonna have to push McGill a little bit. You're gonna really have to get him in there. Hopefully he's efficient. He can make 7 innings. But again, I mean, our at bats should be more than enough. I don't want to see silent. I don't want to see like it's 2-0. Pirates are up by the 5th inning. Like I said, like come the 4th inning, we should be up like 4-0. 6-0.
Percentage that Alvarez is on the bench for this one.
0. Come on.
You can't
Don't
say 0.
stop
though.
it.
You know
No,
this-
it's 0. It's not an option.
Okay,
It's not an option.
If he is on the bench, then are you fully on board with the Buck firing train?
Yeah, if he's on the bench, like he's fired by the bottom of the 1st. Like,
Nice to see you. Because Tony, I just think I know you just because the last year it went well, and like you don't want to necessarily just let Beck go. Who's going to replace him? All that, but there's nothing to hold on to with Buck. There really is.
As of right now, it doesn't certainly looks like nothing.
Plus, what about the Buck? Kind of I don't know, good luck spell. Every time he leaves somewhere, they end up doing very well after.
Yeah.
Other than the Orioles,
Well,
but they were already on the way out.
Should have got rid of him already then. So I'll take the Mets. I'll say let's win this game. It's 8-3.
And also, by the way, the Diamondbacks game got postponed yesterday, so you get an extra pick here. But
Get
you
out of
are
town.
leading 11-9. You poor air quality in DC yesterday.
Really, dude. Okay, so
So
you want me to make 2 right now?
yeah, go ahead. This way we're caught up.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see. Diamondbacks. They're gonna be in Detroit now, I guess, huh? 6:40 game tonight against the Tigers. A little bit of a different area. No, give me I'll double down on Diamondbacks. Kelly's still starting against Michael Lorenzen, dude. He hasn't pitched terribly this season. Got an ERA tick above 3 here, 3.21. Last 5 starts, pretty decent against the White Sox. But I talked about Kelly yesterday. I talked about Walker and Gurriel Jr., dude. So give me the Diamondbacks. I'll say they could beat Detroit. I don't know. I'll call it somewhat close. Say 5-3.
Yeah, I think that's a good movie. Detroit, jeez, talk about a dumpster fire.
Baez is washed, dude. Get out of the league.
I'm not gonna take this game, but
No, take
boy,
it.
the Apple TV game tonight, Mariners, Angels, Castillo, Otani. That's
Wow.
good stuff.
You're not gonna take that game?
No, because who's gonna win? Who knows?
Brian.
But what I do like is going with the Brewers over the A's here, and he used to be my guy, and it's unbelievable how much Luis Medina has struggled for the A's.
Wow.
0-5, 8.19, looking like he belongs in the Syracuse Mets rotation. Going up against Adrian Hauser, who missed some time earlier this year, but 2-1, 3.45. Whole thing is here, I mean, the Brewers aren't the best team in the league by any means, but they are a lot better than the 14-50 A's, who are 7-26 on the road. So you know what? I think this is Yelich's time. Give him 2 home runs tonight, both off Medina, who gives up 6 over 4. Hauser, 6 scoreless, and I think the Brewers 10-2 over the A's.
10-2.
Yeah.
You just love picking against the A's, don't you?
I
dude?
mean, it's pretty, foolproof.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Looking at the Reds Cards game tonight, and I'm trying to see if
Giovanni Gallegos is another Mets target for the bullpen, by the way, too, with the Cardinals struggling.
Jordan
Hicks.
yeah.
Those are guys I don't think you have to give up a ton for.
I'm looking at this game, and Monty's on the mound here.
They've lost his last 10 starts.
He's
They've lost, like, the team, not him, but the team has lost
his
last 10. Isn't that unbelievable?
It is kind of crazy. One of them was a start against Cincinnati too. I'm looking at it. He lasted 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks.
After that, Bob Gibson
Yeah.
like start to his Cardinal career last season.
I know, dude. I think it's just another example maybe of just bad vibes, bad energy over in St. Louis because we've seen how much they all struggle. And I'm kind of setting myself up here to take the Reds. Oh, man. I know, kind of like Ben Lively, dude. Got brutalized by the Brewers here.
Brutalized?
Yeah, dude. Brutalized by the Brewers. 5 earned runs over 7 innings. Yeah, I don't know. I say Monty, give me a bounce back. Law of averages here. He's due for a win. I know you typed in Reds. Delete it. Type in Cardinals.
I did it as you were saying it.
Give me Monty, I think, with a gem here. Give me 7 innings out of him. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, maybe 4 hits, a walk. One of the earned runs coming up for a solo shot too. So nothing crazy, but a nice, solid, quality start from Monty. I say St. Louis wins this game. 3-2.
And I know, if we're going by the last couple of games, it seems a little dangerous here because the Guardians scored a lot of runs yesterday. Jose Ramirez hit home runs in his first 3 at bats yesterday.
Wow.
But the Astros have lost 3 in a row. They're at Progressive Field, and they have Javier on the mound versus Logan Allen. And I just think the Astros are the better team here, despite Allen having good numbers and actually a slightly lower ERA than Javier. But I just think Javier, this lineup is not that good other than Ramirez. I think they're due to cool off a little bit, and I think Javier will have no problem doing a 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, 2 earned. I think the offense gets going, and I think the Astros defeat the Guardians, Tony, 6-3. For my 3rd and final. What is your 4th and final?
I'm gonna say give me Minnesota, dude. They're in Toronto here tonight.
Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray on the mound, 2.15 ERA. Again, you look at his last few starts. Cleveland, 6 2/3, 3 earned runs. Before that, 6 innings against Houston, 2 earned runs. So clearly the guy can limit damage. Okay, keep his ERA. I understand he was off to a hot start, kind of tapered a little bit, but still pretty consistent throughout this season. Against the man they call Kikuchi for Toronto, who pitches not so good. 4.40 ERA. His only good start that I've seen, ironically, was against the Mets. I think he went 5 2/3 only, but didn't give up a lot of runs. As Michael comments, Barnes is so happy to talk about the Mets' demise, and he is.
No, actually, I'm not kidding. I'm actually not. I like it better when they're in contention, when there is a sense of rivalry for talk of the town in New York City, and obviously the way they're playing. I mean, there's nothing.
I thought it was full of shit.
There's nothing to argue about, Tony. And I know you miss the possibility of a Yankee Met World Series like we had at this point in the season last year. It's annoying that that's not the conversation right now, and I would prefer that. And I know you believe me when I say that.
No, yeah, I would prefer that as well. We know Michael would prefer that. He's been saying that forever.
It's just it takes some juice out of the season when a team struggles like this.
No,
I
think you're completely right.
Because you know what I mean. Me going, these digs at the Mets. I mean, it's not even. Last year, you know what I mean. It was like I'm stretching for it. I'm reaching for it. I'm hoping for it. This year, I mean, I don't even need to say it. Everybody sees it. You know what I mean? So it's just a different scenario. And I know Tony's beaten down by it too.
Give me Minnesota beating Toronto.
Sonny Gray, potential Mets target, starting pitcher.
Sure.
Bigger,
but they're gonna
ballpark.
want something for him.
But you know what? You got to give to get, Tony. And Cohen is. Everybody's saying Cohen's about to flip a gasket.
He fucking should be, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, Twins. 5-2. I mean, what do you want me? I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Know what's
it's like,
an
sure, Cohen, flip a gasket if you want.
No, I know you got to give up a lot, but I think he would come at a discount despite his. We know his ability. Too. No, I wasn't talking about him. I was saying Tatis Jr. Just go for it.
I don't know.
The steroids, nervous, right?
Yeah, very nervous.
Long
the
term.
Attitude. Yeah. And then again, cheap for him.
Yeah. Like instead of, let's say pre-steroid situation, you're giving up your top 6 prospects in your organization. Now, maybe you give up
top 3
or 3 through 5, 3 through 6. Like, I don't think you have to give up the top guys.
So it'd be like Mauricio, Vientos,
Ventos, and McGill. Done. Assume the whole contract.
Yeah, it's not bad. Where's he playing?
Sorry. Wait, where's who playing?
Tatis Jr.
You could put him anywhere. He plays outfield. He plays infield.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would think you would want him in the outfield, right?
Yeah, obviously.
So I'm saying, I don't know. I just think that would be, and then you could see him in Lindor getting
Having a good
along
time.
well.
Yeah, for sure.
You're tight though.
Well,
just
yeah,
think
because that's not going to happen. I don't think the Padres are going to.
But you don't think that Steve Cohen's thinking we need to be bold?
I do think he is. You do need to be bold. You got to really shake things up, and it's so tough because you really don't want to. Again, like you're in that situation where you don't want to give up your prospects, your future. And you thought you could have with the guys you brought in. You kind of thought you didn't need to.
Yeah.
Again, like you look at the beginning of the season, and it was like, we need like an extra bat is what people are saying, is what we're talking about. Like we need a good bat.
No, we need Daniel Vogelbach.
And it's like, we'll bring up Alvarez. He could be our one bat and we'll be a complete team.
But I think they would be a complete team if Lindor and Marte were hitting like they were hitting last year. I really do. With Alvarez, with Alonso, and I know the injury, but I'm saying if he was healthy, because he's done okay.
Again, I feel like everything would have been great if like Diaz never got hurt and then their pitching just did well from the get-go.
Right. But
like when have we seen the Mets have a shutout, dude?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Just
like,
trade for the relievers now.
Oh,
we've
God,
seen teams
dude.
completely remake their bullpen and go on a run. So I think it's pretty evident that that's what they need to do.
Yeah, dude. And before back on the
Padres,
the Padres with the TV contract, the money from the contract was used to sign players. The contract was worth $1.2 billion. So what are you trying to say? Like, I don't know what's the point here. Are they
they need to sell players. So
maybe
I do have a point there.
Yeah, maybe, dude. We'll see. I mean, again, I'll believe it when I see it at this point, dude.
Would you be? I know I asked you this already. Last question, and then we'll go hockey. Would you be nervous to give up a decent package with the guarantee of an extension for Soto? Just a younger player, just give it a try. Set different environment.
No. I wouldn't be that opposed to it. We're dying for an outfielder.
And a younger player.
Dying for a younger player. I think he would do well in a Mets uniform. Again, you have to be a little. That's where you got to be careful because, I mean, you really only have one package you can put together. Right. So it's just like to offer a team. I think Soto would be a good bet. You're definitely, again, like, I mean, I don't know how, like, I'm sure Vientos is still valuable. He has to be still valuable.
Oh yeah. But you might as well, just in case, you might as well get rid of him now.
You got to get. I think that might be a move, dude. I think getting rid of him now. If you can keep Mauricio, that'd be cool. But if you have to get rid of him too, that's fine. I'm telling you right now, like Beatty and Alvarez are going to be your everyday third baseman and catcher. Like that's great. There's a success, dude.
Right.
Like they're going to be great. Beatty looks so good at third. Alvarez, we know about Alvarez, so I would say if you got to give those two prospects to bring in someone who's needed, yeah. But again, you got to be a little careful because you need a lot right now.
Oh yeah, you need a lot, and you just gotta hope, that the relievers, won't cost you, as much. And I was just seeing here, so I think this bodes well to my point, Tony. Now with the fences even more in right field, Soto career 33 games at Citi Field, hitting .339, 11 homers, 25 RBIs, OPS of 1165. Pick up the phone right now, Billy Epler. Let's go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Patrick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot.
Big hit on the far side by Bakar. He flattens Jordan Stahl. Oh my goodness.
Gets the top right back. Terrified and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliance from Igor Shesterkin.
It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
All right. And one thing I just wanted to mention quickly before we recap this game 3 from last night. And like I said, I was saying it to you in the beginning. And while like last night's game, you go to overtime, very close, leads changing, all of that. But it's just so it's such a difference without having a dog in the fight. And I just like with these NBA finals and the Stanley Cup finals, I just miss the feeling of watching a game and having your heart beating as fast as you can, so nervous about every single situation, so locked into every play that it's so important. And without having a dog in the fight, that there's a void there. And I'm just curious, Tony. I know you appreciate good hockey, and then obviously basketball is a different situation. But do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I do get where you're coming from. I mean, it's certainly a little different as a Ranger fan to be watching the Stanley Cup and the Rangers aren't in it. However, I don't know. I definitely have. There's pros and cons because obviously, like when the Rangers are in it, yes, you do care more. You're more in it. But on the other note, it's like, like obviously, like I said, the Panthers would win 3-2 in overtime, by the way, yesterday on the show. So obviously I was rooting for that.
Just for Hagee instead of Kachuk on my end.
Yeah.
I copied you.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, we both did that. That's right.
Yeah.
Like obviously that's what I'm rooting for. So it was exciting overtime. Like it was dude, score it, tying it up in the last 2 minutes. Great game. But obviously, yeah, I'm not as in it if the Rangers were playing, but I'm also not going to be as upset if the Panthers didn't win. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I almost like enjoy it, not better, but in a different sense. Like I'm able to be a little bit more relaxed during the game as opposed to like, oh, like we're down 2-1, 2 minutes left.
Give me that any day of the week.
No, yeah, I would love that, but like
I know you're working with what you have. I understand it.
I'm saying like if the Rangers are getting blown out 4-0,
Right,
obviously I'm pissed off. Like
Right.
what the fuck? If the
Right.
Panthers are getting blown out 4-0, I'm like, all right, like whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
it's just like I said though.
No, you're not as in it as much.
And I mean, I guess this is kind of an obvious question, but maybe not. Like, let's say, the Mets are doing a little better right now. And are you still preferring to watch them? Like, let's say they were a game out of the division right now. If you only had one TV, are you watching that instead? Or is it just
The Mets, watching the Mets
yes.
instead. Well, I'm watching the Mets.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So it's the same thing with me with the Yankees last night. It's like I'm watching this game. This game already started. The Yankees are in progress. I'm glued into that. I'm not even thinking hockey. You know what I mean? But if it was Rangers, it would be different. But I know, like you said, we're working with what we have, and the Panthers do pull out this game 3 here to win 3-2 to give them a chance to even this series up at 2 games apiece in game 4. And I think this was just a classic example, Tony, of just answering the call. They set out. They knew they needed to win this game. They knew this series was pretty much over if they didn't. And you had a game here that was really tightly contested, could go either way. We had lead changes. We had a lot of good goaltending. I mean, Aiden Hill, 20 of 23. You had Bravowski, 25 of 27. And you had some answers here. You had the Panthers get on the board early with a Montour goal, his 7th. That made it 1-0 about a little over 4 minutes into the first. Mark Stone on a power play goal, the equalizer with a little less than 4 minutes remaining. That's his 8th of the postseason. So that tied it at 1. So Vegas answering back, and then Vegas answering back again with the Jonathan Marchessault, his 13th goal of these Stanley Cup playoffs on a power play. That made it 2-1. That was 5 minutes into the second. Good defense for the rest of the second period. And then Matthew Tkachuk with about 2 minutes and I guess 13 seconds remaining in the third period, tying the game up. So Matthew Tkachuk, who has led this Panthers team all postseason, with a huge goal to send this thing to overtime. And then with about 33 seconds remaining in the overtime period, Carter Verhaeghe, his 7th goal, the game winner. Florida wins 3-2. Now trailing the series 2-1 and have new life in the Stanley Cup Finals, Tony.
Yeah, dude. So again, like you're looking at this game, you basically broke it down for us in terms of the scoring, and you love that, dude. Because I mean, listen, this game obviously was very I guess dramatic, in overtime and everything like that. And honestly, from early on watching this game, you can see the Panthers kind of got a lot of early chances. They came on pretty hot. They came physical. They came ready to go. Like I said, I think home ice certainly played a role for the Panthers. They seemed hyped up. They were ready to go. Like I said, they had a lot of early chances that they were challenging Aiden Hill immediately. We got the goal 4 minutes in from Montour, you mentioned. And they definitely were a little less, I think, reckless with their aggression too. They did offer up 2 power play opportunities, one of which the Knights converted on. The first one, though, the Golden Knights didn't even get a shot off on the power play. So seemingly the Panthers have been kind of working on their penalty kill, which is great. So they kind of took that issue and approached it a different way. Instead of, trying to limit the penalties, they said, hey, like these penalties may happen anyway. Let's hype up our defense, our penalty killing. Again, a defense that looked absolutely lost the last game against Vegas, only allows 2 goals. That first period too, they did let up a little bit, and Vegas kind of tried to battle back, honestly. Like the first period was a real battle. Again, defensively, from the goaltenders as well, 10 combined shots in the first period, even 5 apiece. So you could tell, again, especially since I saw, like I was saying, like Panthers started out really hot. The pendulum swung. Vegas was trying to answer. But Bobrovsky was absolutely shutting them down. Aiden Hill was shutting down the Panthers too. They were just really like exchanging blows that first period so much. Second period, Bobrovsky, of course, continues to do well. The Marshall goal in the power play, not much you could do about that. But the Golden Knights did have an answer in the second period, outshot the Panthers at that point, 20-13. And then the third period, you mentioned it was, a defensive bout, honestly. And again, like Hill, Bobrovsky, I think, showed for the first time in this series, like how well he's been doing in the postseason, because he has been. He's been playing his ass off, and he was on top of it. Breakaway opportunities for Vegas, making saves. Aiden Hill on the other end too. Again, it was 2 goaltenders that were really just like almost like having a pissing contest between each other. It was super cool to see that aspect of this series kind of come alive a little bit. And then, of course, third period, Tkachuk, you said it, 2 minutes left, dude. I mean, empty netter, you have a goalie pulled. Tkachuk, wins a battle in front of the net, gets a little bit of a lucky bounce, but is there, gets lucky because he put himself in the position to be lucky. Tkachuk puts it in the net, and to tie it up, I mean, that's exactly how you want to draw it up. You pull your goaltender, get some pressure, get the extra attacker on the ice, and get a dirty goal. And that's exactly what the Panthers executed. It was super impressive. And then, you mentioned Verhaeghe's goal. I mean, first shot of overtime. You really can't paint it up better than that, too. Panthers entered the zone so fiercely. And it was just like a drop back pass to Verhaeghe from almost the blue line. Throws a puck where Aiden Hill, Tkachuk, also smart move on Tkachuk. He just started charging the net. Knew that Verhaeghe was going to shoot it. Let me just skate at Aiden Hill. And I want to say, like, it definitely did. It didn't hit anyone, but Aiden Hill, I'm sure, was a little like disrupted by having Tkachuk skating at him. Like I'm sure he was maybe expecting, like a chip in goal or some type of deflection is what I'm looking for. And that puck just gets past him. So Florida with a huge answer here at home. And like I said, definitely worked on some things we talked about. Did better on the penalty kill. But Vegas, again, still 6 power play opportunities. Florida, the one thing you could say, they were 0-5 on their power play. You got to figure out a way to get to Aiden Hill in the power play. But again, they were both on it. Both goaltenders. That was super fun game. Again, overtime through it. Love it. Excited to see what Florida can bring. Again, as we have another game in Florida, I guess it's going to be on tomorrow.
Saturday.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yep.
So it's going to be great, dude.
I just am seeing this coming in about 23 minutes ago. Anthony DiComo of MLB.com reports that Luis Guillorme is making his way back to the Mets, and the corresponding move expected to be Alonso to the injured list.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So at Guillorme, they're going to put it first?
I feel like he could play everywhere, right?
No, he can. He's a utility guy. I love Guillorme
Yeah.
for that. He's a great infielder. He can play anywhere in the infield.
Yeah. So, Just saw that bit of
I like that.
news.
That's cool.
And I was just gonna ask you, obviously, we'll have to recap it at the Horseshoe on Sunday, but for Saturday's game, what is your kind of initial feel? Do you think that Florida's gonna even this thing up?
Yeah, I can see that. And then the Golden Knights win the next two. No. I say Vegas
Nah.
and then maybe Panthers and then Vegas again.
Okay. Wow. I honestly think the Panthers will even it up. I think this is home team wins out.
Yeah.
Game 7, all on the line. Who's gonna sack up?
Excuse me.
4.5 last night.
No, probably like closer to 5.5, maybe.
But still, you need that extra hour.
Yeah, no coffee this morning. I should have done the coffee. I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, we got Screen Time Sports Port. You probably should get the coffee, and then I just never did.
Yeah. I'll remind you next time.
Yeah, you know what it is too. It's like, Tiffany's is like kind of in the opposite direction of how I get down here, and then I take 95 because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I got hop on 95 by Cumbies, and sometimes in the morning 95 is just
Cumbies done right there.
If I'm gonna go to Cumbies, I might as well just go to Tiffany's, dude.
No, but I do know you mean in terms of like I'm big on that too. Even if something doesn't take that long, sometimes it's just like annoying that it just takes a couple minutes, and I get that. I do.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. So tough.
But yeah, we'll see if Florida can answer and tie the series up at 2. Yeah, I don't know. That was just a momentary lapse.
Tie it up at 2, dude.
Momentary lapse here going into the weekend.
Coffee?
No, I already had 2. Let's go now to the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls LeBron James at the buzzer. He banks in the 3, and the Lakers win the game.
All right. So we do have tonight Game 4 of the NBA Finals in Miami. The Nuggets leading this 2-1 after their Game 3 victory. Of course, this is a big swing game in the series. Conventional wisdom would say that it's pretty much over if Denver wins here. Going back home, place they've only lost once this postseason. I know it was to the Heat, but I think it's safe to say that they have outplayed Miami the first 3 games of this series, show they're the better team, show they have more talent on the team. And I think that's why, despite being on the road, they're 3.5-point favorites here. Jokic, we talked about the 30, 20, and 10 last time. We talked about Butler not having one of those Jimmy Jordan games, as Michael would like to say, in a little bit. So almost Miami, and it's ironic because they're both from Florida, obviously, but in the same type of scenario that the Panthers will be in tomorrow. What do you think about their chances tonight to even this thing up and to send it back to Denver to all tied up at 2?
I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Blowout or
Blowout.
No? It's over. Gentlemen.
Yeah, I think it's over, dude.
Yeah, I kind of think so as well. I
mean, we gave our piece to Jimmy last game and didn't do it. So
and I think the only way that Miami can win this one is they need to hit a lot of 3-pointers.
Oh yeah.
And they gotta hope that Denver uncharacteristically plays a sloppy game. I think you have to double team Jokic.
I know, but he's so good at moving the ball. Like he's not selfish. He'll kick it out.
9.8 assists from a center.
Unbelievable, dude.
Just ridiculous. Just missed averaging a triple-double, 0.02 or 0.2 away from doing that. It's just the only thing I would say is I feel like a lot of people all postseason, have counted out the Miami Heat, and they always answer.
Yeah. I know.
And it seems too easy to think that Denver, from my perspective, is just going to roll over them here. I could see this being tight, and maybe last 2 minutes it's up for grabs.
Maybe
and somehow Miami, a couple defensive possessions, maybe a steal, a 3 or 2, and I think they're going to gut this out. We have a low number once again, 211. I believe the game went under last time. I think the under went down by I thought it was 217. I don't know if that was game 2 or game 3, but it's at 211. So I think another game where not both teams score 100 points.
Right.
And I want to say I'm going to go Miami 100 to 96. What do you think in terms of a final score and under over?
Give me the Nuggets. I'll say, I don't know, 110 to 100.
So under by 1.
Yeah.
The Sharps, Tony. The Sharps getting that 1 point under.
Yeah, dude.
One other thing, and I know it's it's not on the top of your list as priorities here in terms of newsworthy, but I didn't see this till now that the Suns hired former Lakers head coach Frank Vogel.
I did see that. How do you feel about that?
I think it's worthwhile because I think he got a raw deal in LA. That was a roster construction problem, not his. And I think he showed with the Pacers when he does have talent, he's able to do something with it. So it'll be interesting to see. I guess Chris Paul on the way out there, maybe Kyrie on the way in. So it should be an interesting off season for sure, Tony. And then the only other thing I did want to mention here is just one more leaderboard update from the RBC. And right now, top of the leaderboard, as he was earlier today, is Andrew Novak, but he is joined now by Carl Juan at 6 under. He's through 9 holes, Novak through 16. So Juan with the opportunity to move into a solo lead potentially. We got a couple guys, or actually, 7 golfers at 5 under. Brennan Todd, Taylor Pendrith, Harry Hall, Aaron Rye, Justin Lauer, Corey Connors, Jason Heedley, all at 5 under par. A double bogey had dropped Shane Lowry back to 2 under, but he just did birdie number 4. So he sits at 3 under, tied for Shinnecock 18th. And I guess the only other guy I wanted to check on here would be Michael Block. Let's see if he's made any more progress. What's your guess? No progress or progress?
Yeah, I'd say progress. He was 2 under?
2 under for the round. He's still
like 5.
He's still 2 under, so he's parred all the holes since we had that update. So I think this is going to be anybody's game. And I'm excited to see the finish over the weekend. So we will have to talk about that at the Horseshoe.
Yeah, buddy.
You're looking for your guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I was. Did you see though what I tagged you on Instagram with the live guy said about Rory?
Yeah, but I don't know. It seemed erroneous, Tony. I did see it.
You think so?
Yeah. You don't think so?
What was the account that I even sent it from?
And
I can check.
Yeah, actually, no, it was Barstool.
It was Barstool. Yeah, Barstool. Yeah.
Portnoy, nose candy. I don't know.
The nose candy, dude.
Well, Portnoy is on top of it. No?
Yeah, no, he definitely is, dude. I was just curious. I mean, is the consensus of Rory on the tour like that? Does people not like him?
No, I tell you, that's a fake article.
Yeah.
Maybe some people don't like him. Like, I think the people, not even that they're on tour, they're on live. I think those people don't like him. They kind of went after him,
Right. He went after them.
Sergio.
Yeah.
Sergio was big on that.
That's right.
Cam Young, even +1 in his round today, tied for 69th. So teetering,
there we
Tony, around that cut line.
Perfect spot for a comeback, dude.
Perfect spot for a comeback. So looking forward to watching the conclusion on Sunday with you at the Horseshoe.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun as fuck.
And all of you.
Everyone out there's gonna be there.
6:30 Horseshoe. Be there.
Let's go, baby.
At high noon screen time.
High noon screen time here. Michael's gonna be in studio. Actually,
he
should be coming to the door any second
making his
now.
Return
Actually,
from Antarctica.
Yeah,
Michael will be back in the building.
Him and I went to see Transformers yesterday.
Let's hear it. Or are you gonna?
We gotta save it for the show, obviously.
Save it for the show.
But I will say, I mean, there's some great action. Definitely, I enjoyed.
How about that?
Yes,
we could just say it was a surprise.
Which surprise.
I swear to God, first time I've heard you say that in the 2+ years we've been doing.
Definitely like one of the better movies we've seen together. And it was opening night too, so it was like packed house. And it had a great experience, honestly. And it was pretty funny because like the woman next to me like seemed like kind of pissed that people were sitting. Like I sat next to her, and she was like seemed like kind of like.
Is she one of those like mask people? You think
she had a mask on? So that's why I was like, and then
you go.
Of course, there's me like shoving popcorn in my face, like like being all like me.
I say this all the time, and I know sometimes I could be, maybe I'm a little aggressive or whatever, but just in general, I do believe, Tony, and I know you're gonna crack up when I say this, but I do believe there are too many people out there that think the world revolves around them and stops for them.
I think so too. Yeah. It's like, hey, this is a movie theater opening night. Like, what did you expect? No one to sit next to you?
Wait for it to come out on DVR if you want.
Yeah, and we were sitting in the best seats, like middle, bro.
Yeah.
See the whole screen. Of course, people are gonna want these seats. Like, yeah. But it was fine. I mean, nothing really ever happened. It was kind of funny because she had like her pocketbook, like the tables that with the lounge thing.
Right.
She had her pocketbook like on the thing, and I was like, ask her to move.
It's just like take it easy.
Come on, dude. Why do you need a huge pocketbook going to a movie theater? What do you need?
Yeah, crazy.
But overall, honestly, I was a little worried about it because, of course, like it's so funny because the movie experience, like for me, sometimes other people ruin it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
People are talking to you. People have their phones out. Like people do that, dude.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why?
Yeah.
Why do you again? People think, oh, who gives a fuck about anyone else? I don't care about anyone else. This is my world. So, but it was a great time.
Oh man, I was hoping Michael was tuning in and heard the Antarctica fight.
I know.
Commented about
that'd be so funny. He'll hear about it.
Yeah, he will. But once again, really like to thank everybody for tuning in all week. We've had tons of support this week. Lots of people listening. I'm sure some new subscribers out there. So we appreciate all of you. We encourage everyone to come to the Horseshoe 6:30 on Sunday. But we also encourage you to take a look at all of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee in costume, as well as the merch at downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy screen time. Let's go Yankees for Tony's sake.
Let's go Mets.
And we will see you on Sunday.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.